Hello, Somerset County, and welcome to this edition of the Scoop Podcast. My name is Chris Edwards, president of the Somerset County Business Partnership. Before we get to our guest today, we have three organizations that have supported the launch of our podcast studio. Our founding partners, the County of Somerset, Unity Bank, and Techie Geek. I want to thank them so much for their support of our new podcast studio. Speaking of support, I'm joined today by Brian Auger, the retiring director of the Somerset County Library System, former board member of the partnership. Wanted to have a fun podcast for our summer listeners, do a bit of a career retrospective and highlight some of the linkages between the business community and the world-class library system we have here in Somerset County. Welcome to the podcast, Brian.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So we've known each other for, I guess, my 13 years here at the partnership. You've been very active as a board member. We did a lot of events together. But before we get all to the business connection, can you give our audience just a little bit of your background, how you got to the Somerset County library system, and maybe a little bit about your time spent in Somerset County?
Sure. Let's see. I started working in libraries back in the 70s as a shelver when I lived in Maryland, and then worked in public libraries, 3 different county public libraries in Maryland for a total of 28 years. But let's just say that I kind of outgrew the last system I was in. I was a deputy director there, and I was really looking for some more challenges. And I certainly found them here in Somerset County, and I mean that in the best of all possible ways. We were looking, or the commission at the time was looking for a county library system that was a little more cohesive and a little more systematic in how it delivered services. So they took a gamble on somebody from out of state. And with any luck, I think we paid off.
Oh, well, I think as the audience is going to hear as we get into this, I believe we have, I've said this to you privately, I've said it publicly. I think that this county library system is one of the gems of being a Somerset County employee or resident.
Thank you. I like to think so too.
And maybe we'll start there. Why don't, what are, as you kind of seen the evolution of the library system, specifically kind of how technology has impacted the library system, what are some things as you look back on your career kind of that pop out as these, oh my God moments, this is really going to change everything?
Sure. Well, as we were discussing beforehand, I went to library school so long ago, I sat behind Fred Flintstone in cataloging class. And we actually typed catalog cards on manual typewriters. That's how long ago. Our computer education was learning COBOL. So I've seen a lot of changes. And probably the most dramatic one is Google, and everybody's going to say, sure, I get that, but maybe you don't. I worked in a library where we had a telephone reference department with 9 staff. We were open 12 hours a day, and we answered 10,000 reference questions a month. That's gone. We had to pivot. But at the end of the day, and I get this a lot from people who say, you're a librarian? Do people still use libraries? What about the internet? And for us, what we've always done is mediate access to content.
Right.
And that content might be you want to read something by Plato, or you want to read the latest novel, or you want to come to a program, or you want to have a book club experience. Whatever, we connect people. And at the end of the day, the internet is just another format for us to mediate.
Yep. I think one of the underappreciated beauties of libraries is that as we as humans age, it means something different at different times. So like as a high school student for me, getting books for projects, meeting friends there after school, it became a meeting place, a hangout place. I remember a couple times in my early 20s, being unemployed and going to the library and job hunting and almost like passing the time there. And now I'm at a point, one, there's the business side. But then on the other side, I have young kids, and it's finding those, there's a Lego class, or there's something. And that's one of the, I think, underrated or underappreciated things is you can go onto the Somerset County Library System website and see what's going on at any of the libraries in the system anytime, and there's an enormous amount.
We have so many programs going on, and oftentimes people aren't aware that we're actually up to something with those programs. Those story times for kids, for example, that's not just somebody reading a book to a kid. We're up to something. We're trying to lay the foundation for every child being a reader, being ready to read by the time they hit first grade. And so the books are carefully chosen. We're doing things with rhyme and rhythm, and we're working at age-appropriate levels with kids because we want to build readers. Because, of course, we're libraries. We want readers, right?
Yep.
But, yeah, there's a lot going on at any given time. And we've had to adapt our spaces to accommodate that. So our newest library in Montgomery, for example, has 8 private or quiet study rooms with a table and 4 chairs for small groups to study. Those things are in use constantly. We have a large meeting room, and we also have a conference room there. That gets so much use.
Right.
As libraries need to have maybe not as big a collection as they always did because we can share among branches. We don't have to have everything at every location, right? We're able to take some shelving out and provide more space for people to be. So at Bridgewater, if you go to Bridgewater as an example, in any afternoon, you're going to see every table filled with people in tutoring sessions, people studying for exams, you name it.
Yeah. Do you see, that was something, obviously the partnership before we moved into our new space, we identified a hole essentially in the marketplace was there wasn't a lot of great meeting space in the county, and you had companies who were downsizing. Mm-hmm. So you had companies downsizing, they were getting rid of their conference room space. And then you also had a work from home group that were trying to also get out of the house a little bit each day. So do you kind of, when you talk with your team, did you kind of see that same thing happening over the last few years?
Absolutely. So we're trying to provide more amenities for people who are using the library to work. So you can print from your laptop or your phone to one of our printers wirelessly. Again, making it more amenable. We've been trying to put soft drink machines and snack machines in because people are spending longer in the building, and of course you have to have something nutritious like chips and soda.
That's my version of nutrition, anyway. A little crumb cake, maybe.
There you go.
You got to have fruits for show. That's how I always say. No one eats the fruit. They just need to think they're being healthy. No. Well, why don't we talk a little bit more about that? Because we've partnered a lot, whether it's on new initiatives to help small business owners. When we didn't have the space, actually, I think the Bridgewater location was probably hosted numerous of our business meetings. So can you talk about the relationship between the business community and the library as you've seen it over the years?
We stand ready to help anybody build a business plan, to identify prospects, to find out about resources in the community, grants, you name it. We've got the resources, and almost as important as the resources, well, maybe more important, is the people who know how to find the stuff in it for you. And we're ready to do that. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to find the names and mailing addresses of every business manager in a pediatrician's office in Somerset and Warren counties.
Right.
We can do that. We can show you how to do that. And you're going to have the very latest up-to-date information that you would have paid somebody to develop that list for you.
That is so important. We said this before off camera. I can't tell you how many members come to me, my team, and say, how do we get a list of businesses, something that's very general, or maybe it's just something, to your point, very specific. Mm-hmm. And I always say, do you have a library card? And they're always kind of stunned by, it's almost like, I think we take everything in life this way. Like if it's too easy, there's got to be a catch or something in there.
Yep.
But it's not.
Right.
So, I think whether it's Reference USA or I'm sure there's other programs out there, there's a great opportunity. And there's people there, right, at the library who can walk you through it.
Absolutely. And not only that, but you don't have to just come in and take a shot at asking. you can give us a call and make an appointment with
Right.
somebody and set up a time that works for you and that works for us. So we're not trying to juggle
Yeah.
customers. So we even have, we just did a third redo of our website. And if you've ever done a website, you know there's an awful lot involved under the hood. And we actually have a tab on our website that says libraries do that. So things that you might not expect to find at your public library, like passport services or notary services. We do a lot of stuff that we didn't do 20 years ago, but it's very popular today. Museum passes.
Yep. Yeah. No, I've always made the mistake each year of waiting too late into the summer because people are very good at grabbing them,
especially for the weekends.
Yes. Yep. Well, I want to, one of the things I want to, before we get to kind of the future of the library, the evolution of the Somerset County Library system under your leadership. There's a lot of different entities, individuals who help kind of row all in the same direction. So can you kind of talk about the behind the scenes that a typical citizen of the county would not see?
Sure. And first and foremost is the County Library Commission. The County Library Commission is a group of volunteers that are appointed by the county commissioners, used to be called the Freeholder Board. And they're my boss, if you will. And it's their job to make sure to set the policies and that kind of thing. But they have supported me for the last 15 years as we've tried to evolve the system to meet current needs, current expectations. And I just can't emphasize enough how supportive they have been over the years. We had a very, very spare management team when I started there. And now we have a management team that you need to support a 10-branch system. So we have a real HR department. We have a real finance department and procurement. We have a marketing department. We have centralized the selection of materials. So everybody working at libraries isn't thinking about buying the same James Patterson's book.
Right.
We're doing it centrally. So they've been wonderful at providing those resources that we needed. And I just can't emphasize enough that we've got such a really good team of leaders. And we've just thought of all kinds of things to offer the public that in many respects we were the first in New Jersey. So we were the first to have an ebook collection. That goes way back. And we still have the largest ebook collection in the state. We were the first to offer an app for your phone to manage your library account and check materials out. We've done all kinds of firsts like that. And it's because we have, again, a visionary staff and a supportive commission behind that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I certainly have to emphasize, I've worked with a bunch of other chambers. I've worked with other organizations in different counties, and I've never seen a staff, not just yourself, but your team be present in the community, right? So there's employees from the library who attend our events, but also there's library night at the ballpark, and there's all these different items going on top of it being. It's not just a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 at the library, right? You're doing programs on the weekends and evenings. It's
well, and one of the things I'm really grateful that the Library Commission has supported me on is we have call it embedded librarians, but we have a number of our managers who are on the boards of a great number of human service nonprofits in the community. Why do we do that? And they do it on library time, by the way. Why do we do that? Well, we can't write a check to support a nonprofit, but we do have expertise.
Right.
And what happens at the board level when they're sitting on a policymaking board is that other board members are going, I had no idea the library had resources like that. I had no idea they were problem solvers the way they are. So it really redounds back to us in a very substantial way by having folks out in the community. So boards like Alternatives, Arc of Somerset, Casa Shaw, the Center School, you name it, we've got people on those boards. And again, I really think it benefits both organizations.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think speaking as a quasi nonprofit ourselves, finding people like yourself and your team who want to be there versus the company said be there is a very big deal. Last question before we get to the favorites part of our podcast. What do you think? Is there one thing, or is there something? I know AI is always kind of the trendy answer for any of these topics, but is there something coming down the pike that maybe you see from other library systems, or something you're working on already that isn't public yet that maybe you can't talk about here? But is there something coming down the line that you're like, this is another transformational moment for libraries that you're excited about?
Funny you should ask. Why, yes, there is. New Jersey, as you may know, mostly has municipal libraries. The county library is kind of an exception to how libraries are put together and funded in the state. And as a consequence of that, years and years ago, when small municipal libraries were automating, they banded together and formed consortia to do that work on behalf of a larger group of libraries, because they couldn't do it on their own.
Yeah.
County libraries were big enough that they kind of did it on their own. But we're actually getting ready to join a consortium along with a few other county libraries. That would be Sussex, Warren, and Hunterdon, which already joined. It's the Maine Library Alliance, the M in Maine standing for Morris County, which already has, I think, 77 municipal libraries in it. We're joining because we want to take advantage of a new integrated library system, that's our enterprise software.
Right.
And the technology and customer expectations, they've all changed in such a way that this now makes complete sense for us. So I'll go back to James Patterson. Believe it or not, he's written 200 different books, 200 titles. Does any one library in Northwest New Jersey have all 200 of those titles?
Yeah,
no.
Right.
But together, we probably do. Mm-hmm. And we can rely on one another. So this is a really exciting, I hate to use the word chapter because it sounds like a pun, but it's a really exciting chapter for us. Sadly, I won't be here to see it unfold, but there's going to be all kinds of possibilities like that we can use to take advantage of today's technologies to deliver services that people are really looking for.
Right, right. So does that involve also, so if I'm up in Sussex County, I find something down here in Somerset.
That's right.
There's going to be a way to reserve that, get that book back up into...
That's right.
Yeah, that's incredible.
However, I want to point out really quickly, lest anybody think that we're going to send our really new stuff that they're waiting to get their hands on.
Yeah.
No, that's what I meant by the technology. It really enables us to very granularly be selective about what is visible and not visible to users throughout the larger Northwest New Jersey area.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to that. When do you have a sense of when Somerset County is joining?
We technically have joined.
Okay.
But the changeover in integrated library systems won't be happening until the late fall of this year.
Well, that's one less thing you have to learn. So that's
right.
So before we get to our two favorites to get you out of here on, I just want to do a little spot here for Techie Geek, our sponsor. Techie Geek is your trusted IT superheroes. They specialize in keeping businesses connected, secure, and thriving. From advanced cybersecurity to seamless cloud solutions, Techie Geek has you covered. Visit techiegeek.com or check them out on socials at Techie Geek to see how they can power your business forward. Thank you so much, Techie Geek. And Brian, to get you out, we always ask two questions to all of our guests. I can't tell you how many times at networking events or programs, people use these as a conversation starter when they listen to the podcast. But someone who spent a lot of time in the county, do you have a favorite spot to eat?
I've become a real devotee of diners, and You may be surprised to know that New Jersey's known for its diners. We have a few here in the area. I really like diners. It's just amazing what you can order. And they bring it out so fast.
Yep.
No, so I love diners.
Is there anyone in particular, or just is it?
The one I've been to the most is the Time to Eat Diner. On 22.
Used to be a block. Pre-pandemic, right? As a lot of our meetings have moved to virtual. I used to be there, I think, every week for a meeting, and that doesn't happen as much anymore, which is a damn shame. I could go for an omelet. Do you have a favorite recreational activity in Somerset County?
Well, I'm fortunate that the apartment I have is in South Bound Brook, and I'm a short walk away from the DNR Canal. And I really enjoy walking along the canal, walking toward Centennial Park.
Yep.
And it's just a wonderful, quiet walk.
We were talking before about retirement. My dad has walked the entire canal.
Wow.
So it was something he did right at retirement. So something to think about.
All the way down past Rocky Hill.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Made it to the Delaware River. So not over periods of time. There's some sketchy areas. So be careful, but not in Somerset County. So
okay.
Brian, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
On behalf of the partnership, it's been a great professional relationship we had, and I look forward to you connecting in retirement. And thank you so much for what you've done for the county.
Well, thank you.
That wraps up this edition of the Scoop Podcast. Until we upload again, Somerset County. Awesome.